My name is Walter Moreau, the real estate mentor. I'm on a mission to build 100 millionaires who are inspired to build 100 millionaires. So if you're one of them and you'd like to make more money this year, throw your hands to the camera. If you'd like to be one of those high income earners, awesome. And if you're looking to do it with less work, let's throw your hands to the camera. If you want to do less work this year and earn more, excellent. So wealth principle 2 is the one we're doing next. Now we've been traveling through the 52 weeks for the last 2 weeks. Now, this isn't the first time we've done it. We've done this for the last 2 years. This is now year 3, season 3 of the 52 weeks to wealth. So again, I want to give a round of applause for everybody who's been with us for the last 2 years and is looking to dive into year 3. Now we're going to treat year 3 a little bit differently than we did year 1. See, year 1 was all about inspiring people to become millionaires, helping them build their wealth and get to the next level. Year 2 was a progression. Now, year 3, we have a lot of millionaires in the room right now on the cameras. And so now in year 3, my goal is to inspire our millionaires, our 100 millionaires, to go and build 100 millionaires. So I'm going to be going through these wealth principles this year. And I want our millionaires to be listening for how do I speak? How do I teach the principles? What stories am I telling? And how do I deliver this so that you can go out and be teaching people easily when you're having conversations each week? Hands to the camera if you know you talk to somebody at least once a week. There's people that you're talking to every week. So if you can slide in a story like this one I'm about to tell, it could be valuable to the people that you're speaking with. Hands to the camera if that's valuable to you in your life, the people around you. Absolutely. And if you're not a millionaire yet, hang with us. You will be. Wealth principle 2 is based on the concept that what you think about, you achieve. Whether you think you can or you think you can't, either way, you're right. Who's heard that from Henry Ford or whoever created that quote? There's so many people who want that one now. Well, thinking is important. Last week, wealth principle 1, we talked about think a million. This week, wealth principle 2 is about having $1 million plan. Your business must make $1 million. Now, if it can't make $1 million, who here knows that making $1 million is not that important? Like, you're like, I want to do it, but it's not going to make or break my life. Whether I do it or not, I won't die. Yeah, I know. Okay. So the reason you're not seeing a lot of hands, because everybody in here has to make $1 million. It's life or death to us, but it's not life or death in reality. We're not going to die if we don't make it. What happens to us is our souls are just a little crushed. We're not hitting our goals. Now, thinking and building $1 million business comes from doing the math. You've got to first do the math. And the math behind $1 million is not, hey, somebody else is getting rich in this, I should do it. I hear that all the time with, Etsy shops and creative ways to make money, these little side hustles, Uber driving, Airbnb, like, hey man, like this is quick cash. I can make this tomorrow. Or Dash. Who's done DoorDash? Or knows somebody who's done DoorDash? Yes. You're not going to get rich doing DoorDash. You can't make $1 million in DoorDash. You can't make $1 million in Uber. There are some businesses that can never make $1 million. And so you want to first eliminate anything that you don't know somebody else making $1 million in. And the easiest way to do that is to pay attention. Go out and ask, do you make $1 million? Do you make $1 million? Do you make $1 million? Hands to the camera if you know it's going to be work asking people how much they make. If you know there's a lot of people who don't want to answer that question. Yes. So it won't be an overnight success story for you when you're going out and asking people what they make, how much they make, and how they do it and what they do. But what it will deliver to you are some answers. So hands to the camera if you know somebody who makes $1 million currently. If you know somebody, every hand should be up if you and I are having a conversation. All right, here we go. So if you know somebody who's making $1 million in a business, find out what their business is. Find out what it is and write it down. And I want you to think about it right now. Do you actually know people who actually make $1 million? Just because they drive a Lamborghini doesn't mean they make $1 million. Lamborghini is only a $5,000 a month payment. Just so we're clear. Right, you can go and drop $250,000 on a Lamborghini, but that could be your only $250,000. We're catching this? It doesn't mean that you got more. I know a lot of people who have really nice cars who can't buy a house. I know a lot of people with really nice cars who can't buy a business, who can't go invest in crypto right now. So what you see does not necessarily mean that they're a millionaire. Very important to have that distinction. Number 2, is there somebody in my location who has made $1 million in this business? I know a lot of people with app ideas, but have no development experience and have never proven their ability to go and build a team to build an app or market an app. I know people who have the idea to build, be real estate developers who have never developed a piece of real estate and have no proven concept that that piece of real estate that they want to develop will work or make $1 million. In fact, I was talking to somebody this week about doing, it was little micro houses. It was like, let's do micro houses. This is what we want to do. But they'd never developed before. They had no mentors in developing. They had no land. They had no demand from the market. They never sold the concept before. So they weren't sure if it would make sense. And so they wanted to go borrow money. And it's like, well, you kind of want to do a little bit of market research first. So go find somebody who's done it. New ideas, I'm not a fan of. This principle doesn't work for new ideas. Hands to camera if you're okay with doing something that somebody else has already proven before. Yes, I know we're a little bit boring. We're not talking about billionaire status here. The billionaires, even the billionaires don't go do stuff that hasn't been done before. Billionaires just take proven models and they speed them up and scale them. That's all. Amazon just sold books faster. We're catching this? All right, you didn't create books. You just sold books faster. Tesla just took an automated car and scaled it. They already had electric cars. He just was spending more time in something that was already proven to sell. Bless you, Melanie. It's good to see you here. Looking amazing. Number 3, is there somebody who has made $1 million in the business and built it with people and hasn't automated the process where the person hasn't used technology or leverage in the process? If there's already a business that's operating, that's making $1 million, but they're not leveraging people, they're not automating with systems, they're not using outsourcing factors, you could reasonably jump into that same exact business and scale by using people, systems, automations. Going back to the real estate brokerage when I was, we'll say it was like 2015, I started out as a real estate agent. I noticed that most agents were not using transaction coordinators back then. Most agents were doing all the work themselves. They would go out, they would show the house, they'd go out and they would list the property themselves, and they'd sit at home and they'd complain about putting all the documents into MLS. They'd be typing on the computer and it'd take about 30 minutes. And then they would go and they would meet the seller in person. They would sign the contracts. And in about 2016, when I started getting a little bit more savvy as a real estate agent, I realized that they had this thing called DocuSign. And I was one of the first agents in my market to get on DocuSign. And then I was one of the first agents in my market to hire a transaction coordinator who was in the Philippines to hire a VA. And in 2016, I started increasing my numbers, my production numbers, and all the agents around me said I was cheating. Well, you're supposed to do your own documents. You're supposed to put your own listings in. Well, you're supposed to, it's not good customer service to not sit down with the client and have them sign documents. Hands to the camera if you've done a transaction with a digital signer now and you know that the agents are using virtual assistants. Yes. It's funny how the things that I used to get persecuted for are now commonplace. This is technology. So you can, in your business, scale up. So if there's a business right now that's still in the, back in the 50s and 60s, it's still operating with heavy, expensive, slow machinery or ideas or concepts, you could reasonably jump in and disrupt that business. We call it disruption for a reason. They no longer operate properly. So $1 million businesses, let's drop in the chat some ideas for $1 million businesses. Here's 2 ways to make $1 million. 2 ways that I know that are easy. The first is build a business that is cash flowing enough to give it $1 million valuation. The second is earn $1 million. The third, actually, there's another way. Yeah. The third is buy an asset, just buy an asset that's worth more and has an equity and sell it for an equity position of $1 million. So you have multiple different ways. And if I want to make $1 million in 30 days, I would go for the latter. I would just buy a $6 million portfolio and sell it. I buy a $6 million portfolio for $5 million and sell it for $6 million. We're catching this? It's flipping. Just flip bigger assets, right? If you want to make $50,000, you go and do a flip. You want to make $100,000, go and do a flip. You want to make $250,000, go and do a flip. You want to make $1 million, go and do a flip. You want to make 10 million, go and do a flip. The easiest way to make Big, fast money is the same way you make small, little, meaningless money. We're catching this? So look at your business model, look at what you're doing, and ask yourself, can this make $1 million? And if the answer is no, don't get started. And I say this because it's really important for entrepreneurs. I've been on 70 calls this week, and over, the calls that I keep hearing. In fact, one of the calls was a woman who may even be listening to us right now. I just met her yesterday, and she told me, she said, I want to do this. And everybody in here knows the language. She's like, I'm trying to get rich. I'm trying to make money. I'm trying to hustle. I'm trying to get it done. And we all know that when you try, nothing happens, right? Trying is not doing, but she doesn't know any better. And so I'm talking to her, I'm listening to her, and I said, look, my strategy makes $1 million. I don't know if you're ready to hear this strategy. And she told me, she's like, no, I'm trying to make $1 million. I was like, oh, well, I mean, I'm trying to tell you is my strategy makes $1 million, but I don't know if you're mentally ready for making $1 million, right? Like, I don't know if you mentally believe it, because if you did, you'd be doing certain actions, you'd be doing things differently. Money would already be flowing to you. And she said, look, I know that there's some sort of course you're going to try to sell. And I was like, I'm not trying to sell anything except for you being on the $1 million idea. Like, that's all I'm looking for, is I want you sold on $1 million strategy. And she said, look, there's gurus out there who are selling their courses for $100. And I told her, I was like, look, I don't have any course that cheap. Like, we don't have $100 courses, right? My mentorship is $2,000. The mastery program is $15,000. And I told her, I was like, I'm not ready to bring you into either one of those, because you've got some work to do. There's some mindset stuff that you have to do. Is it okay to say no to clients? Is it okay to say, like, you're not ready yet? And I told her, it was like a long time ago, I made a commitment to build people up, to build millionaires, to dedicate my life to building millionaires and teaching people income. And what I did is I realized the poorest people on the planet won't pay for coaching, right? The brokest people on the planet won't pay for mentors. They won't pay for coaching. They won't pay for events. And so I realized I had to create assets that could go out and make money, like, for other people. That's why I wrote the books, right, Mitch? Where are my authors at? Where are all the authors, people who've written books, paying it forward? Awesome. Excellent. It's the reason we write books, right? Somebody can then go and read the book, and for $7 or $15, or in the case of Real Estate Alchemist, $24. I got the most expensive book of all my friends because it's thick. That's right. So the book now allows you to get that knowledge and information. There it is. Aleem's got it. Nice job, Aleem. And I shared with her, I was like, look, but I know that you're at the point where you don't want to pay me anything. I told her, I was like, I'm cool with that. I'm 100% okay with that. Go to alchemistnation.com. All the courses are free, except for this one course, Names on Deeds. Names on Deeds, Ron just dropped in the chat, is actually $95. So I do have one course that affordable. But I told her, I was like, go to Alchemist Nation, get the research, ask my millionaires, right? Hands to the camera, millionaires, if you'd be okay if somebody sent you a message and said, hey, does this really work? Would you respond back with truth? Awesome. Let's give our millionaires a round of applause. So you may get asked now and then, right? You may get asked, somebody may just be like, hey, is this for real? Can you actually make money in real estate? Can you actually make money wholesaling? And if somebody asks you, by the way, if you can make money in wholesaling, I want your answer to be yes, but it's hard as hell. Can we all commit? Yes, but it's a lot of freaking work. All right. All right, millionaires, don't send them down the wrong path. So the woman at the end of the call, she started crying, and she said, thank you so much. I've never believed that millionaires would actually be willing to share their knowledge and take the time to have a one-on-one conversation with somebody like me, who's don't have anybody to help raise my daughter, and my car's in the shop, and I'm just struggling. And right now, like, I don't know how I'm going to make money, but like, knowing that I just talked to a millionaire, and like, you're not a jackass. She's like, don't, sorry, I didn't mean to offend you. I was like, I'm not offended. You said I'm not, right? She said, you're not a jackass, and like, you actually care, and you want to see people like me do well. And it was, 70 calls in a week is a lot, especially for an introvert, somebody who doesn't want to be out on calls, right, Mitch? Right? If you were doing 70 calls, you probably would have shot yourself by Tuesday. So it's So it could be a lot of work, a lot of drain. But I was asked yesterday by Kim Rodriguez, it was my last call of the night, right? I literally ended the call, ended my week at 7:30 last night. And she said, like, how do you do it? Like, do you get excited, like, doing all these calls? And I told her, I said, like, I don't remember what I said 100%, but I remember the feeling of it was like, I just know that if there's somebody out there who needs to hear what I'm doing, then I need to be there. And I get tired, I get exhausted, I wake up and I'm like, fuck, I don't want to do this schedule. But then every single call I take, I feel good. I'm high energy. I'm amped up. I'm in it with the person. It's just, let's go, let's grind, let's figure this answer out. Whatever it is, the challenge that they're in their head, I know their challenge is smaller than anything I've ever faced. And anything that they're going up against, I can figure out the solution and the answer. And so I have high energy. As soon as the call's over, man, I take a deep breath. I drink a glass of water and I open the Zoom room and I slam into the next one. It's just like, there's nothing you can do when you're on a mission. Like this is something, it's a calling. Each one of us is born with a thing to do, but we're not given it. None of us were born with the instructions. None of us were born with what our purpose is. It's something we have to decide later on. It's something that we have to come across life's experiences and say, you know what, I'm willing to commit to this, or I'm willing to commit to that. Or that seems like an important thing to fix. Elon Musk, if you ask him why he builds Teslas, why he does the stars, why he does the moon stuff, right? He's like, somebody has to do it. It just has to get done. He's like, I'm not trying to get rich. Like, I already did that. But somebody has to do these projects. And I feel the same way about education. I feel the same way about the world and understanding of abundance. Alchemist Nation is designed so that we can go forward and be the light, be the educators, be the mentors, be the millionaires who are throwing back the rope and sharing our knowledge with the people who need it most. Right? The people who need it most. I heard this from Grant Cardone once, which is interesting because he's actually the author of this book of the week. And Grant Cardone said, he said, the poorest people on the planet, man, they need the most help. The people on the planet who need the most help when it comes to finances, they're poor, they're broke, they have no money. That's why they need the most help. But here's the deal. They don't have the money to pay you. They don't have the money to pay for the help. And so you have to be able to deliver for free. You have to donate. You have to, it's almost like a charity. People ask me what my charity is. It's like, dude, every dollar I make goes back into this, goes back into marketing, goes back into building this business, expanding it so that we could serve more people, build assets that serve the poor. And we finally got to the point where we have classes and trainings that are running all across the world in countries where they're earning less than $1 a day, in third world countries, because we have people donating classes. So just right now, I want to thank all of our millionaires and give everybody a round of applause for the millionaires who've been donating courses and trainings. We just got Rod Cleef donated a course, multi-millionaire in the syndication sector. I know Terry and Christina both committed to a course. Ron Bowling has been uploading course after course after course from Alchemist University, making them free. Things we used to charge for are now being made available for everybody. The mentorship, we've shifted to being higher accountability, longer term, longer duration, higher accountability, so that our community can intensify the speed with which we earn our money. Wealth principle 2 is build a $1 million business. Ladies and gentlemen, after today, I don't want to hear about another business idea. I just want the one that's going to make $1 million. Can we commit? Yes, if you can commit to making one business make $1 million. And that's my millionaires, ladies and gentlemen, who are already millionaires. You have your asset classes that have already made $1 million. You're allowed to continue making another $1 million in each asset class. Hence, if you commit $1 million in each asset class. Awesome. So our millionaires have a different problem. If you're not a millionaire, get the problem that we have. We got too many millions. We got too many different things that we started that are working out really well. Let's get each one to $1 million. All right. So like Mike Shine, for example, he's done well in his stock portfolio. He's working on his crypto portfolio. He's working on his real estate portfolio, which he's done well there as well. And he's working on his business. Now the business has to make $1 million. Now for our business owners, the business has to make $1 million. Then it has to make $1 million 2 times in a year. Then it has to make $1 million 3 times in a year, 4 times in a year. We're catching this? We just stack $1 million on every year for our business owners. So as you're going out through this week, I want you to write down and commit to one business that can make $1 million. All the other business ideas in your head. Don't think you're special, by the way. Stop it. You're not special. None of you are special when it comes to, oh, well, I can run 2 ideas. My business is going to run 2 or 3 things into one. No, you're not. No. The people who try to do that fail. And then they come back to the beginning and they come back to one business that does really well. And they keep pushing that one business until they make $1 million. Now, you are special in the sense that you're smart enough to recognize that. You're smart enough to only work on one business. Everybody else around you has a bunch of ideas, and that's why they're still broke. Everybody else around you has an idea for this, an idea for that. We should do this. We should do that. Say no to more people. Say yes to your one thing. Say yes to your $1 million business. Jen, it's Jen's Pens. Anybody else comes to you with different ideas, tell them no. I don't do that. But here's a friend of mine who does. Be willing to pass business along to other people, right? Real estate agents, do you also sell insurance? No, I don't do that. But here's a friend of mine who does. Here's like, don't bounce around. When you bounce around, you dilute yourself. Ask me how I know. There was a point in my life where I thought it was a great idea to date 6 girls at once. I was diluting myself. I was diluting my attention. I was diluting my ability. It wasn't until I committed to one girl that I became extremely focused, much more loving, a much better lifestyle for myself, and a much better community leader. The community is able to grow much faster because I'm able to spend more time here instead of making sure I got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I didn't forget about Thursday or Friday or Saturday, and then Sunday was my rest day. Hands to camera if you're catching this. Your businesses are like ex-girlfriends that need to be exes. Like all your different ideas, they need to be broken up with and just commit to one. All of those different things in your life, man, your life is better when you commit to one spouse. Who's fought with their spouse before? Anybody? Am I the only one? Right? Who's won before? Yes, victory. No, there's never a win when there's fight. The truth is we never win unless we both agree at the end. And that's the whole point. You've got to stick with your business, ladies and gentlemen. You're going to fight with your business. It's going to fight with you. It's going to ask you to negotiate. It's going to ask you to compromise. Never compromise. Negotiate better. Find a win-win with your business, just like you do with your partner. That's why you've been married. Some of our millionaires have been married 20 years, 15 years, 25 years. It's because they're committed to each other. They're staying in it for the long term. Many of our millionaires have 5 kids, 6 kids, 7 kids. Kim, by the way, amazing. You're just an overachiever in everything you do. 6 kids, because they commit to the idea of a family. They commit to the idea of building something worth having, worth leaving behind. So $1 million business is something that requires commitment. One business, one flow. And if you're in ClickFunnels, one funnel. You're just one funnel away. You're just one business away. Hence the camera for catching this. This is valuable stuff. Excellent. If you need accountability, if you need the knowledge, the network, and the accountability to get to the next level, by the way, Alchemist Nation, the way I've designed it, the knowledge is free. The network is free because you can get both of those anywhere. I've just built a better one. I've put better knowledge out there. I've put a better network out there. Hence, if you agree, we're a better network for anybody who's looking to invest in real estate. Hell yeah. They're lucky to meet us. Absolutely truth. But what you can't get is the accountability. There's no coaches, there's no mentors, there's no trainers, there's no programs out there that deliver the accountability that is delivered in the mentorship. Hands to the camera if you're a mentorship student, a graduate who has been through and recognized the accountability is next level. We go above and beyond. And we're the reason that you're putting in more offers than you ever put in before. I appreciate you. I appreciate your success because it gives me bragging rights. 100 Millionaire Summit, 100 millionaires in the room, inspiring 900 other millionaires, future millionaires. I expect all of us to be there shining bright and being willing to share. We're getting close. By the way, in my head, October is just a month away. It's just a couple of weeks away in my head. So I'm already planning out the 100 Millionaire Summit. I got Rod Cleef, who will be there. I've got Liz Faircloth, who is the creator of Invest Her. It's funny. It's her. It's all women. It's a women real estate investing community. And she's going to be talking about how to evaluate deals and making strategic offers. Rod Cleef's obviously been talking about the mindset behind multifamily. And I've got a good friend of Grant Cardone's. Grant Cardone himself he said $250,000 to show up. So I was like, well, I'm going to go ask Ken Walls, who's a good friend of his, how he connected with Grant Cardone, if he would come and speak at the summit. Ken Walls has introduced me to Mark Victor Hansen, the #1 best-selling author in the world. He's connected with Steve Sims, who wrote the book Blue Fishing. Hansen, if you ever read Blue Fishing by Steve Sims. He connected me with Steve, got him on the podcast with me. He's connected me with Robert Allen. Who knows who Robert Allen is? He's like the godfather of real estate investing. Absolutely. So we're going to have Ken Walls live at the event talking about how he infiltrates these high level networks, how he gets into the pockets of billionaires. In fact, he introduced me to a billionaire, Ramey, who may or may not be at the event. I did soft pitch it to him. I just said, hey man, would you show up? And he said, I'll think about it. So we'll see. He may fly in his private jet. Hands to the camera. If you know 100 Millionaire Summit is going to be better than it was last year, it's going to be intense. Get the tickets now because tickets will be going up in price. I was talking to somebody who runs events, and what they told me is every month, increase your price until you get to your ideal target. The ideal target price is about $1,000 for a 3-day event. Hands to the camera if you've paid that before. If you paid more than that for a 3-day before. Who just paid $3,500 or $10,000 or $2,000 for this weekend's past event, Master of Influence? Yes. 100 Millionaire Summit. My goal is to get those tickets up to 1,000. Right now, Dorina has them on the website for $200. So every month, that price will be going up for the next 9 months. Hands to the camera if that's okay with you and you understand why we're doing it. Awesome. Excellent. So right now, you can take action by going to 100 MM Summit. I just think of M&Ms, right? 100 Millionaire Summit, 100mmsummit.com, and register for your tickets today. VIPs, by the way, are going for 1,000 right now. My goal is to get those up to 5,000 right before the summit. The VIP tickets will be 5,000. Those will be front row. Lunch with me. I can only fit 20 people in the VIP with me. So snag your VIP tickets before they're $5,000. Hands to the camera if it's okay if I raise that price to $5,000. It's totally worth it. Absolutely. Front row, lunch with me. Come on. Priceless. My millionaires, would you be in the room with me during lunch? Hands to the camera if my millionaires want free lunch. All right. So lunch just got bumped up. I just negotiated for you. VIPs, you're getting not just lunch with me, you're getting lunch with our millionaires. So I know who's going to be in that room. Man, that's going to be the craziest room there is. All killers, all motivated, hustlers, taken to the next level. Let's give Dorina a round of applause. Her and Ron Bowling as well. They've put a lot of work into planning for the 100 Millionaire Summit, negotiating with our speakers, finding ways to get them on stage. It's going to be an intense year. Lining this up, building it, and getting 1,000 people in the summit. So for all of your friends and family members who want to say that they were at one of the 100 Millionaire Summit, they can never say that they were at number one. Only you who were there can say that you're at number one. So let's go give yourselves a round of applause. But you don't want to miss the opportunity to say you were at number two. Because after this, every summit becomes bigger and bigger, and they're going to be harder and harder to get in touch with us, to get in touch with you guys, because you're going to be celebrities on stage. Our millionaires will be taking a walk across the stage. We're working on an award that we're going to be delivering to the people who have been a millionaire and stayed in the community for over a year. So our millionaires will be getting awards on stage. You don't have to have earned the million in the community, but you do have to be in the community for a year, and you do have to be a millionaire. Hands to the camera if that's a really cool award to receive. Awesome. Awesome. Hands to the camera if you know you're going to be receiving one of those awards this year. Hands to the camera if you're thinking about ways to make that happen for you this year. Awesome. Awesome. Let's give our community a round of applause. And if you're interested in the mentorship, you can find it on alchemystation.com. I'm not going to sell it to you. I'm only going to offer the opportunity for a relationship. For everybody else, you already got my number. You know how to message me. Has alchemystation.com been more valuable to you for building deeper relationships with the community? Hands to the camera if you're using it. If you've been on the app and it's been more effective. Excellent. I see your posts, Brian Mazzilli. I see what you've been posting. I see Jen. I love the value add posts. I think that's huge for the community. If you see an infographic or something like a blog that you want to share, I love that stuff. It's helping everybody level up at the same time. So mindset, real estate, or business strategies, feel free to share those inside the main chats. Don't just message them to me, by the way, because then I look like the champion who goes and posts it. But feel free to start posting and sharing anything that you can't share on Facebook, because Facebook doesn't allow you to share links, or anything that your family might not be interested in seeing. You could share it with us. If it's money-based, if it's real estate-based. Hands to the camera if you're committed to sharing your successes, wins, and knowledge. Awesome. I love you guys. I appreciate it. It means so much to me. Michael Shine, bring us the book of the week. Let's give Mike Shine a round of applause.
Woohoo! What's up, alchemists? All right. So this book is adorable. It's actually not even a book of the week. It's a booklet of the week. And so this is Grant Cardone's The Millionaire Booklet. And holy cow, Yeah, I see that, Mitch Jaworski. I would recommend getting this on Audible. And this morning I crushed it. I put it on 1.25 speed on Audible and crushed it in 1 hour. And I swear to God, if you got up an hour early and listened to Grant, because he does read it himself, talk about becoming a millionaire. If you did this every day, your life, you would be a millionaire by the end of the year, no doubt. He is just so inspiring, just awesome. He's raw, he's real, he doesn't mince words. And this little thing is awesome. The Millionaire booklet by Grant Cardone. And I will say specifically for this, what Walter's speaking about this week, Millionaire Principle 2, there's a whole chapter on millionaire math. You know, how many people you have to reach. And then also just what Walter was talking about before, increasing your income. But the one that impacted me the most was, who's got my money? Who's got my money? And really, I don't think a lot of people think about who has their money. In fact, in my closing business, it didn't dawn on me until I spoke to Walter. And Walter's like, you know, you need to be hanging around lenders. I was like, well, what about realtors? He's like, lenders are closer to you for money. And it was like that. So really, read this book today, go for a bike ride, beautiful weather, and listen to it, and then find out who's got your money. This is an awesome, awesome, motivating book. Get it. 10X.
Let's give Michael Shine a round of applause.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So yeah, I got a couple copies because I used to hand these out to my real estate agents. And I love that Mike said, who's got your money? You know what I realized who's got my money? Highly motivated business owners who want to get rich, who want passive income, who want more real estate. Real estate is the key to passive income and storing your wealth. And so I figured out who has got my money. It's people who want to never have to work again, who want to store their assets, high income earners who want to store their wealth in real estate so they can eventually quit their jobs or sell their businesses. And Mike Shine has, like he said, he's identified who has his money, and it's helped build out and simplify. He's no longer chasing people he doesn't have to chase. He's just servicing the right people, the right relationships. Hands to camera, if you want your business to basically do itself, to just operate without you, well, wealth principle 2 is think the right business. Start with the right business. Go back and check that math. What about knowing the systems and the processes? Knowing how to get all the money to go and do those deals. Because it's actually something Mike Shine asked me about a year and a half ago. He said, man, like, I want you to do a course where you get all of, like, you show us how to raise more capital for when we run out of money. By the way, millionaires, do we run out of money all the time? Millionaires, it just seems like we invest our money, we throw it all in a deal and then there's no more money. So Mike ran into the problem where he threw all his money into deals and he was like, well, what do I do now? I want to keep buying deals. And so we wrote this course called Names on Deeds. Hands to the camera if you were at the live training in Names on Deeds. Who's been to one of the live trainings? Awesome. Excellent. So we haven't run one in a little while, but what we did do is the last 3 months, we put together a workbook and we put together a recorded course. So we took all of that live training footage and we put it together into a super meaningful, super valuable course. And it is now available on Alchemist Nation, or you go to namesondeeds.com. If you're in the mentorship, hands to camera if you're in the mentorship, you already paid to be a part of the mentorship, go to namesondeeds.com, ask to be an invite, but use the free version or send me a message. I'll make sure I give you the free version. For everybody else, it's $94. Pay for it if you want the information or don't. I don't care either way. Michael Shine, I see your hand.
I just wanted to also point out something that was really good, because a lot of people come to the Alchemist Nation, speak to Walter, and they say, I want to quit my job. That's what I want to do. I want to get into real estate. And even in this booklet, Grant says what Walter was saying, which is go back to your original job and make more money and stack cash. And like, that was kind of helpful for me because my business is in a growing phase again. So I'm going back to my original business and grow it some more. And then that takes away that problem of having money to it, that opportunity of having money for the next opportunity. Thank you.
Let's give Mike Shine a round of applause. Stack cash, level up. Come on, let's go make more money. Guys, There's so much money in the market. It's cheap. It's cheap right now. Go make more. Take it while it's there. If people are giving it away, you've got to go and create a bucket for it. And like I said to Mike, and Mike is just crushing it, is your business. He wanted to get out of his business. Everybody comes to me. I want to quit my job. I want to get out of my business. Everybody says this to me. But stay in it a little bit longer. Let's look at it a little bit differently. Maybe we focus on the marketing for a little while. Maybe we focus on the sales for a little while. But you just got to get out of the daily grind and stop being in the business and start focusing on the really cool parts that grow the business. Maybe focus on some systems. I know we were doing that with Jen's Pens recently. We're focused on some of the systems. And now we're back on focusing on the marketing strategy and the sales strategy so that we can bring more people through, and we just keep stacking up and leveling up. Same with Frank. Frank, for the last couple of months, has been focused on Alchemist Financial, the lending company. He's been focusing on all the systems, making sure all the loans work, making sure all the relationships with our lenders are in place. And now he's taking on loans. Now he's slamming them through, and we're teasing it, testing it, making sure everything works. And then very soon we'll go back and we'll improve some systems so that Frank isn't so involved, and we'll be just slamming it through our funnel, slamming all those things to our throat, marketing and sales again. You got to have fun with this. Same with the training company, right? Who saw Alchemist Nation was not here 6 months ago. It did not exist. It was not real. Alchemist Nation, that website is something new that we went back and said, how do we improve a lot of what we're doing and automate the process? How do we improve a lot of what we're doing and serve more people so that who don't have to pay, so that we can go to that higher level and get to the next people who really need us, so we can take that money, roll it into serving and building more systems for the people who don't have the money and can't pay. Hence, can't you recognize how a business works? This is how everything in life works. Same with your spouse, right? Don't stop loving your spouse. Don't stop going out on cool things. Like, go back, find something new that's cool to do together and start doing that and keep building the relationship. Same with your body. We used to, when I was a heavy weightlifter, we used to tease our bodies. Like, the body would like get used to workouts, and we used to have to shift the workouts just to trick the body, because it would like get used to certain repetitions, used to certain weights, used to certain exercises. And so we'd start shifting what we were doing to high intensity or low intensity or heavy weight or a lot of reps, just to trick the body, to get it to grow, to get it to change and adjust. Otherwise, you get used to things. But we can never get used to things, because if we're just used to it and comfortable, we're not growing. We're not getting to the next level. So kind of a long lesson today. Is it okay that I went a little over than usual? Is it okay I went a little longer than? Thank you, guys. I appreciate your patience with this. I aim to do these as quickly as possible, as effectively as possible. Wealth principle 2, build a business that can make $1 million. If it can't make $1 million, move on to the next business. But once you find one you're passionate about, even if you're not passionate about it, but you're good at it, stay in it till it makes $1 million. Then automate it. Learn it, do it, automate it, teach it, or delegate it. Whatever you got to do to get out of that business. Commit, my friends, and you will be a very, very happy, successful, financially free person living on the beach or wherever you want to live, or hanging out with me down here in Tampa, going to success events constantly, because we just love high-fiving and hanging out with smart, successful people. But whatever you want, you can have it. I will see you on alchemistnation.com. Cheers to your success. When you have a choice, always work with the best. And now for my favorite part, the coaches. Let's open it up. Dr. Terry Wager, your feedback on Wealth Principle 2.
One of the biggest things that I see cause people problems is they start to splinter in their ideas, and they have a new idea, and they take 2 or 3 steps down the track to do this idea, and then there's another new idea, and then I could actually fit this piece in, and this piece fits in. I was talking to a guy who called me out of the blue from a networking event in Portland the other day, and he's like, I want to build my business. And I'm sitting there going, yeah, I think this is a good idea. And he's a credit guy, right? And he starts talking about funnels for marketing. And I'm like, wait a minute. When we were talking, you were talking about being a credit guy. Now you're a marketing guy. And it's like, no wonder we all have problems hitting $1 million mark, because we keep popping up with new ideas, or the idea that I chose isn't giving me the result I want, so I don't actually look at my strategy and reorganize. I just get a new thing. How many people have got a new thing because they were frustrated with the thing they were doing? Happens all the time. when we start going, okay, I'm going to stop doing the new thing and start doing the one thing, we start to actually have progress. And I know for myself, I had when I was putting generator coaching together, I had my consulting, I had coaching, I had hypnosis, which is super fun, and a few people got to witness that, and it was amazing the other night, and that's relegated to a hobby now, but it's not a business. And then I had a couple of other things I was doing, Airbnb and all of that, and when COVID hit, we went straight down, and I partnered with Walter, and I have a couple other partners that I work with, and this is what we do. We consult with companies and we coach them on how to grow towards $1 million, or 8 figures, or 9 figures, depending on where they're at. But when we focused our business, we saw our business catapult, not just move forward a little bit, but it catapulted down the track where we were wanting to go. And over, when we've helped people to really focus on their plan, put the strategy together, and get the trash off the track, happens for them too. Every time, not just sometimes. And so if your business hasn't grown the way you want to, what is the trash on your track? What's getting in the way? Most likely, there's a you factor in the way, which is the first thing we cover when we start working with you. And then it looks at systems and team building, and then how to market your business after you get all that set. But if you can't do it, you need some help. That's what Alchemist Nation's about. That's what we do with businesses, is to help you grow your business. The one business, not 10, just one. Now you can have 10 locations, but you have to have one business, one idea, and focus on it.
Let's give Dr. Terry Wager a round of applause. It's true. In Alchemist Station, we've got the right coaches. We got the right trainers. Hands to the camera if you've gotten value from any one of our coaches at some point or another. And Dr. Terry Wager, he knows what he's talking about because he's been doing it for a while. And Terry he said, we're helping people go to 6 figures, 7 figures. I really think at this point, we're helping people go from 7 figures to 8 figures because we're doing it ourselves. That's really what we're doing right now in our business, is going from 7 figures to 8 figures. So give us the next year to figure it out. And then once we do that, is it okay if we help you get there as well? Excellent. Excellent. And guess what? The process of going from 7 figures to 8 figures so far seems exactly like the process from going 6 to 7. Just aim at bigger deals. It's not that complicated. All right. Who else is here? Do I have Ryan McDermott, or is he at a soccer game? He's at a soccer game.
He's at an indoor basketball soccer game.
Winter basketball. Yep. Winter soccer. Scaredy Cat Guide, Mitch Jaworski. What do you got for us? Wu-Tang it up for us, man.
Ironically, there was a good Wu-Tang quote earlier when he said, "Who's got my money?" And then I thought, hey, dirty, baby, who's got my money? Little old dirty bastard. Anyway, I digress. So I have a secret. I don't want you guys to tell anybody. I come on these calls, and most people, think it's to like help others, which, I stumble into from time to time, and people find me valuable. But really, I come on for selfish reasons, and it's to listen to the other coaches, because every week something happens where a coach says something and I'm just like, yep. And I'm just nodding and smirking, because it doesn't matter where you are in your journey and how much success you've had. There's always, as Walter said in one of the previous wealth principles, sharpening the saw. And niching down and focusing on one business is a problem for many of us, especially me. And everything Terry was saying, I'm just laughing and nodding my head. I'm like, yep. And it's sadly nothing new. It's stuff we know. It's about executing on it. And it's about having someone like Terry hold you accountable to stay on that track. Because I don't know, 5 years ago probably was, I went to an event with my mentor. He was part of a $25,000 a year mastermind. And they had an event locally, like a little networking before, their weekend event. And he's like, dude, come through. He's like, I want you to meet some people, see if it's something you're into. And I sat down with the lead guy, the coach of the group. And he's just like, all right, what do you do? And his first piece of advice was, all right, you need to niche down. You have to be the master at one thing. That's how you make a million. You're the master at one thing. You're the expert at one thing. You're the go-to for one thing, right? So that's the thing that everyone should stay focused on when Walter talks about, find the business that can make a million and focus on that business. He's giving you the blueprint. Like that's step one, right? And if you're in a business that's not going to be able to make a million, then should you be spending time on it? Or do what Walter does, one at a time. 2-3 years ago, Walter was focused on real estate, right? This year, he's focused on building Alchemist Nation and building millionaires, right? A few years from now, who knows what the main focus is going to be, because we're going to have 100 millionaires in Alchemist Nation and we're going to have dozens of other coaches, right? And then the day-to-day becomes different for him. So find one business that you can make a million, build that business, then move on to the next thing if you want to do multiple things. Because at that point, it's on autopilot. It's already built. So everything I'm saying to you right now, I'm literally preaching to myself. It's completely self-serving. If you got anything out of it, that's awesome. But find that one thing. And that
Let's give Mitch Chorsky a round of applause. It's true. I mean, we're here for a reason. It's the same with Master of Influence. I had Doug and Terry and Heidi there, and I was just blessed to be in the room. We run events that I like to go to every year for myself, and I just happen to bring all my friends along so that you and me can all rise up together. Mitch said something interesting. So Mitch, the goal for me by the end of this year is 10,000 users on the platform. 10,000 people on Alchemist Nation learning from our coaches, learning from our students, learning from our millionaires. You are the 100. I know there's only about 70 of us on the call right now, but I've trained over 100 future millionaires. 100 people have heard this mission and committed to doing it with us. And so I already know, like, if you own one house, if you own one house or more, you own more than one house, you're already ahead of 90% of the people who will come into Alchemist Nation. So there's things that you can teach. There's things that you can pay it forward to, and you can at least tag the person who knows what they know. We've got our 100 millionaires. In fact, at the 100 Millionaire Summit, I had over 100 people sign the contract to commit to becoming a millionaire in the next 3 to 5 years. Hands down if you sign that contract. If you're at the 100 Millionaire Summit and you sign the contract with us, hell yeah. Don't worry, if you missed out this year at the summit, I will be handing out the contract again to 1,000 people, offering 1,000 people to sign the contract to become a millionaire. This contract is a binding agreement between you and yourself to make sure that you hold yourself accountable. And it does have some little secret codes in there that when you read it, it reminds you of how important you are and the mission is for you and your family and the people that you've committed to. Michael Shine. No, hold on. Darina Pagodina. Your take. A Wealth Principle 2. You're up.
Good morning. I am loving that we are in season 3. I love it. It's like season, like there's 8, 10, like it's never ending. And I cannot agree more with Mitch by just confirming we are here for each other, but we're also here for ourselves. And all the coaches are adding tremendous value. And this principle is really revolutionary. And when I met Walter, this is the first book he gave me. Like, here you go, read it. Have you ever heard of Grant Cardone? I'm like, no, that was 5 years ago. So he was not that big yet. And I'm like, no, not really. And he's like, here you go. Here's the booklet. And we still have in our house, like about 20 copies for someone who comes in, like, here you go, read it. And it definitely changed my perspective on what am I really working on? Is this scalable and is this going to make me $1 million, or can that become $1 million business? And I actually had it wrong at the beginning. It's like, I'm going to get very like 5 different businesses that together they're going to bring me $1 million. I was all over the place. You have to focus on one. And I agree with you, Mitch and Terry. It has to make $1 million, and then you can transition into diversifying. Even Warren Buffett says, keep all the eggs in one basket, hold that basket, guard that basket, and then you can focus on other golden gooses. So yeah, I love this principle. Again, self-evaluation and business evaluation will be important this weekend for you to see really, is this $1 million business or not? And big decisions could be made, because if it's not, then then Walter will be very upset with you. So make sure it's $1 million business, and you have mentors and coaches to guide you through here. And if you even like a net worth tracker that we're doing, you can add your business to that net worth tracker, and it will show you whether it's going to make $1 million or not. And we're here to help you evaluate that too, because like Walter, what's the principle? Like, how do you calculate if it's $1 million business? It has to say it has to create 300 something thousand in order to be evaluated as a business of $1 million.
If you're in a restaurant business or you're in the average business, you would multiply by 3. So if you have a restaurant that's pulled in $300,000, it's worth $900,000. If you have we'll say something like a real estate business where you're a contractor, that actually is a bigger business. So you may end up getting a 4 times evaluation. So that could end up going for $1 million. All you do is make $250,000. Then there are businesses that are more like substantial. They got a bunch of assets, like construction businesses. Construction businesses will go for a little bit more because they have a lot of assets attached to them. So that could be a 4 to 5 times valuation. IT businesses can be a 7 times valuation, depending on the size of the list and the amount of users they have. So you get a lot more value based on the industry that you're in as well. So you can look that up online. Excellent.
And thank you for that, because we think about $1 million, but how do we really know that it's $1 million business? Because it's what we also keep, and what's the profit, and how can we scale it? So that's my biggest takeaway. I am in between 2 businesses, and I'm thinking, yep. So thank you.
Let's give Doreen a round of applause. Hands to the camera if there are people who are, we'll say, guilty of thinking about more than one business right now. Yes. To the extent that you do not commit to one, you will suffer. To the extent that you not go all in on one thing, you will suffer. And that is the choice that you're making right now. Not making a choice is also a choice. Every day that goes by, every minute that goes by is a minute or day that an opportunity has been missed. I think about Alchemist Nation and the funnel itself, and I think, what if I had sent out one email last week to let people know about it? What if I'd started a month earlier? What if I just let a few people a few months earlier know about it and had built things a few months earlier? We would already be at that 10,000 people list, because it will happen overnight. It will, once it becomes viral and people start sharing it out. By the way, Ron sent out an email to 11,000 people yesterday, or 10,000 people yesterday. Dorina sent out an email to 200 people. Mark Dozo sent out an email to another 200 people. Just as people start inviting their friends in the ambassador campaigns, and we start seeing people leveling up, this platform grows faster and faster as people start saying, hey, you know what? I created a course, sending it out to their entire list. Or here's a course I got a lot of value in, or here's a community I got a lot of value in, and sending it out to their entire email list. There's a lot that this platform is growing. Imagine if I'd started it a few weeks earlier. Your business is exactly the same way. How many more people could you have served if you just committed to your business a little bit earlier in the year? How many more people's lives would be better if you just committed to doing one thing better, faster for more people earlier in your life? Today is the day. That's why I said at the beginning, I'm begging you, please make a commitment to yourself. Please make commitment to do one thing. Please, let's just go make $1 million so I can prove it's possible to you, so that you can then go and prove it's possible to other people, so that you can continue to spread this mission of building millionaires. It's not about the money. It's about the confidence that comes from knowing you don't have to ever think about the money. Answer Karen if you're catching this. Right? The money is just a way to get it done. Michael Shine, what's your take on Wealth Principle 2? And by the way, I do have an appointment with somebody at 11 o'clock that I'm committed to making. So I want to make sure I hit that. Go ahead, Mike.
Right. So first of all, totally agree with Mitch that I get a ton of value. And I come here to learn and grow. And I get so much from Walter and Terry and Darina and Mitch and Doug and all the coaches. So if that's a secret, I've got the same secret, Mitch. I've got a life hack for all of you. And also lots of people on here, Kim Rodriguez, Kim Harvey, Brian Mazzilli. There's just a ton of value just being here. So my message, Melanie and Steve, can't forget you guys. Anyways, but I've got a life hack for you. If you don't want to do all the stuff that Walter just said for an hour, here it is. Just show up here. Just show up. Because all I've been doing for 3 seasons is, and then Darina, I love seasons also. That's so cool. All I've been doing is showing up, and basically by osmosis, suddenly in 2 years, I'm up to 58 units with 5 more on the line. My business is crushing it. And there's nothing special about me. I just kept showing up. So show up, and the coaches here and the other people here will pull you along. And in 3 years, you'll look back and say, holy crap, how did this happen? So that's what I got for you. Just keep showing up.
Let's give Michael Shine a round of applause. I love that truth. Just show up, be around successful people, listen to the thoughts of successful people. You will become a successful person, and then it's your turn to go and share it with others. And you're doing it. You're doing it by being here today. You're doing it by being here next week. You're doing it by being here each week. And I know some of you actually go back and watch the previous seasons. I was on a call with one of our community members the other day, and he said, yeah, as soon as you finish, I go back to season 1 and I listen to it. And he said the principles are the same principles, but you talk about them in a totally different way. And I told him the reason is because my net worth was half what it is at the time of the new wealth principle. When I'm going back to it, my income was half of what it was. I was targeting a different audience. I was teaching from a different direction. Hence, the Karen, if it's valuable to hear the same principle from a different mindset as the years go on. Absolutely. Absolutely. I love and appreciate each and every one of you. I don't have time for questions today because I did commit to a call that I got to make right now, but go to alchemistnation.com and send me a message. Chance to Karen, if you've already sent me a message there and you know I respond. Awesome. If you haven't sent me a message, send me a message on Alchemist Nation, ask me a question, or give me some feedback from the conversations we're having here from season 3. We're only 2 episodes in, but keep me in the loop on what you're getting and what's not working. And I will see you online. Cheers to your success. You have a choice. Always work with the best.
With the best.
And Terry, I'll see you on the podcast at 12, brother. Cheers.